As we enter the final phase of the rut, bucks are now traveling further in search of the last remaining does. This can be an extremely frustrating time if hunting a specific deer, but with it comes new opportunities. Jared Mills is experiencing this trend firsthand. Both the Big Ten and Merino have disappeared, having most likely moved off the farms Jared can hunt them. Rather than chasing ghosts, Jared makes the move to a permission farm that's known to hold a lot of does, hoping to find a new target.
Alright, it's morning on November 23rd. The sun's about to come up here. We've been set up for probably a half hour, 45 minutes. Decided to switch things up a little bit this morning. Came to a property that I have not hunted yet this year. And in fact, I really haven't hunted a ton in the past either. But it seems like a lot of my target bucks right now, for one reason or another, are kind of MIA. I'm not sure if they're just with does and not really traveling much, or on the other end of the spectrum, they could be traveling a lot and just on different properties somewhere. So I'm not really sure, but that's the reason we wanted to come to a new spot and try it. There is a big deer on this property that we've had pictures of over the past few years. It was a pretty spot and a pretty morning. Temperatures in the low 20s, hard frost last night. So I hope the deer are up and moving. I hope he's on the property and cruising around looking for a doe. This property is tough to hunt. There's a lot of cover. It's basically a big bedding area. That's our setup and game plan for the morning, and if nothing else, we'll at least enjoy some new scenery this morning.
While Jared tucks in, waiting for a surprise buck, 167 miles to the southwest, Lee Abraham is back on stand, targeting GQ.
23rd November, Monday morning. It's a beautiful morning. It's cold and crisp. It's one of the best mornings I've had this year. 26 degrees, west-northwest wind. Josh and I are tucked in this bedding area we hunted 2 mornings ago. This is the spot where this buck GQ came out of last night. This is a typical cruising spot, transition there between different bedding areas and kind of come together right here. So I expect to see some cruising aimed in the morning. Hopefully that buck did not pick up a doe last night. He's still on the move. Works pretty good for calling, but it's pretty tight when they're on you. They're on you. So we're gonna get our backs against this tree, keep our eyes up, and listen for that first little twig to snap. It's mid-morning. We're in the middle of it here. We have seen just lots of bucks cruising. Several does being bumped around, but several even doe groups, which is kind of a good thing if you, in the seeking phase at the end of the rut. We want those bucks to come and try to find those last does. And we've seen, I don't know, 8 or 9 different bucks, and they've all been kind of coming in single file, either together or one at a time with their nose to the ground. We had a 5-year-old 9-point make a rub on a post behind us with just snot dripping out of his nose, and he was pretty run down. He's been hard at it. But again, no GQ. He's got to be close, whether he's with a doe or not, but I think he's probably by himself, seeing the fact that we've had other mature bucks not with does. But we have some weather coming in and precipitation, whether it's going to be snow or sleet or kind of a wintry mix. But got some rain behind us. I'm not sure what the afternoon holds, but I think this is our last little go at it before we have to make a decision on what we're going to do next.
Back in eastern Iowa, Jared is trying to create his own action.
Unfortunate right there. thought I had a clear shooting lane and apparently did not. Connor and I can see the branch that I hit just skimmed the very top of it, and it was enough to deflect the arrow straight up, and it's sticking in the middle of a tree like 10 feet up in the air. So it didn't even get close to the deer, which for that I'm thankful that it didn't hit him somewhere it wasn't supposed to. But it's crazy it took that deer that long to come in. At around 9 o'clock I rattled. It's probably 10:15 right now. And he came out right after the rattling sequence, probably 130 yards away, I would say. He was circling, on the downwind side of us like you'd expect. He disappeared behind some pine trees and we lost him. And in the meantime, this really mature buck came in, a deer we have a bunch of sheds to. The landowners found a lot of sheds to him. He's, I don't know how old, but he came in to like 25 yards. At the same time, we're waiting for this other buck to appear. Never showed up, so we assumed he hit our ground scent and just left. So we get back, we filmed a big family group of does and fawns just kind of hanging out, relaxing. Connor spots a buck down below us where we expected this one to eventually show back up. But it was probably 45 minutes. He stops and I decide to shoot there. One, obviously I thought I had a shooting lane, but two, I thought at any moment he was gonna buck 'cause he was right downwind of us. So I didn't think we had much time, but obviously hindsight's 2020. I should have just waited and see what he's gonna do and wait for him to come out in this clearing where there's no chance of hitting a branch. But just one of those things that you wish you could have back. But he's a good deer. I don't know. I think we might have pictures of him. I don't know. Like I said before, I haven't spent any time on this property at all. There's a chance we could see him again, but he's definitely not the buck that we came in here for. Movement's been good. Hope I hang in a little bit longer and make a game plan for this evening. Well, it's been a long time. I can't remember when the last time I missed a deer was. I forgot how crappy of a feeling that is. Hopefully we can get back in the stand and get another opportunity here soon.
That same morning, 530 miles to the east in central Kentucky, Guy Cole's trying to tag his first buck ever.
Alright, so it's the morning of November 23rd. We're here on the Riverbend farm. It's a place that my grandfather-in-law has permission to deer hunt on, and I've been following him this season. We've been trying to get him his first buck. So we'll see if it happens this morning. It's really cold. It's down around 30, probably down in the low 30s. And they might move, they might not. This is, I think, our fourth hunt, and we haven't seen a deer yet, but you never know what's going to step out. It's that time of year that anything can happen. Maybe today's the day. I'm gonna shoot him. Take your safety off. Take your safety off. Got him, I think. I think you got him. Talk to me, what happened?
I don't know if I got him or not. Maybe I did. He was a nice one though.
He looked good.
He looked good. He was a nice buck. Boy, he just come right up out of there.
If you got him, what would that be? That'd be your first one, first buck.
He'd be my first buck if I got him. It definitely would be.
At 77? At 77?
77 years old. That's it. He was that big one. Wasn't he that big buck?
Well, he's one of the nice ones.
What is it? See it right now.
Go see if it's him. What do you see?
I see him right there. Where he lays.
What do you think about that? What do you think?
I like it. I like that real well. I like that real. Okay. Well, this is my first buck. 77 years old. I seen this buck come walking up out of the edge of the woods into the field, sitting in a good ground blind up there. Josh had set up for us, fired down on him, and got him. So it was pretty exciting, quite an adrenaline. Yeah, he was a 9-pointer, and he broke all 4 tines, so I'm still happy with him. So it was a good experience for me.
Hey, that's your first buck. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, first buck.
The first half of November 23rd is rock solid and full of action. However, the evening doesn't answer the curtain call and neither Jared or Lee catch up to their targets. With 0 wind, Jared decides to sit on the same farm as the morning, tucked away in a redneck blind, sealing in his scent and allowing him to accomplish some work. He encounters a solid buck, but it's not the target, and his quest to punch his first Iowa tag of the season continues. I too had to attend to some work obligations, and not wanting to miss out on a hunt, Lee took a similar approach to Jared, but without a camera. He chooses to sit the redneck blind overlooking the long bean field, and the precipitation he mentioned arrives in the form of snow. GQ steps out, and again he's locked down with a doe, resetting the 48-hour clock. Snow turns to rain, and the following morning, November 24th, finds Lee back on stand, grinding it out for the world-class Monarch. Well, good morning, guys. November 24th, a very rainy morning, and unfortunately that has me tucked into a blind. Lee is toughing it out about 90 yards away in the same tree that we've encountered GQ twice now. And where we're at with this buck, we encountered him on the 22nd by himself. We figured that was the day he was going to be off his doe. Sure enough, he was. And we ended up rattling him up. And unfortunately just didn't get a shot. Well, yesterday we sat in the morning in the big timber hoping that we would catch him looking for his next doe. But by the time that the day ended, Lee actually made his way last hour to this blind. It started to rain and snow yesterday, and so I decided to stay home and do some work. Well, he saw GQ pop out of these beans with another doe. So we know he's locked down, unfortunately, again. But that being said, with these rainy conditions, we know he's not too far off of this long bean field. This is his core. I mean, I filmed him 3 or 4 different times from this blind last year. We filmed him twice from the tree right over where Lee's sitting in. And what we're hoping is, as you can hear, it's still raining, that in breaks between this rain, that doe will come to this green food source, and hopefully he'll be right behind her. So it's I don't know, Lee's grinding it out. There's no other way to put it. We've got a bunch of deer moving. I mean, we've got 10 does and a small buck in the beans. I'm actually watching another one pop out of the same bedding that GQ did with his doe the other day. Let's see what buck it looks like. So deer definitely on their feet. I mean, unfortunately, so far, they've all stayed in the middle of those beans. And haven't made their way to the greens, but time will tell. Like Lee said, we ain't gonna kill him at home, and I want nothing more than for him to put this deer on the ground. He deserves it.
rode back into a familiar spot, back on this this ridge, this feeding destination ridge. It's the afternoon of the 24th. As you can see, it's less than ideal for a camera or for deer movement. But yeah, we've seen this deer on this ridge 3 separate evenings. So we know he's comfortable here. He keeps finding does and bedding pretty close and feeding here out in the open, which he feels pretty safe because, again, he can see, he can get on the downwind side of the wind and protect himself. But he has been relatively active and in daylight. So we had this encounter with him 2 days ago here at about 45 yards. And again, the goal is, he knows with that doe, it's been less than 48 hours, he's probably still with her. I'm thinking about a couple possibilities. Either one, she comes to this green. We had a couple of does on here earlier today on this green source, so they are coming here. And then two, the other thing last night that I think was possible by watching the interaction is, if that buck, another buck gets in the right area, they can easily push that doe and that buck this way, or push the doe this way. They can just by accident. So if they covered a pretty good range yesterday, just pushing those bucks away, and that would give a shot opportunity. Just that alone, if we get there, get lucky. And with this deer, it's going to take some luck with any situation. So that's our goal. We got a great wind tonight. It's in our face. It's been the best wind we've had for this set, and that gives me a lot of confidence. And the rain, you know, it's a negative as far as deer movement, but it has been raining all day. So if we get a little bit of break, I mean, or even if it's going to rain through the night, so they got to feed at some point. So, you know, lots of possibilities, but ultimately you got to be out here. You got to be where he is, and you know, I mean, it's never a bad day to be in a tree in November, no matter what the conditions. So we're gonna get after it. We did see some activity with that little break in the weather. Saw that big 3-year-old we call baby crabs come across. Again, he was seeking for a doe. Saw 2 other 2-year-old bucks and several little small doe groups, but not a mature buck, and definitely not target buck GQ. We have maybe 10 minutes left, and we're gonna keep our eyes up. If we see anything else, we'll bring it to you.
Just heard some grunting right over this hill. Haven't seen what buck it is yet, though.
Buck steps out with his doe exactly where Lee expected, but darkness arrives before the pair ever comes into range, and encounter number 4 comes to a close. The following morning, November 25th, finds Lee again in the same tree stand. Switching things up, he brings a decoy along just in case GQ pops up alone searching. The morning rains persist and the deer move, but the buck is a no-show. Eventually, we decide to get down with plans to dry out and to charge batteries. Finally, the rain is forecasted to stop midday, and when it does, we will be back to the same stand. "168 miles to the east, Jared Mills is gearing up for the afternoon sit.
Alright, it's afternoon of November 25th, the day before Thanksgiving. And it has been raining for the last day and a half, pretty much non-stop, and it finally quit earlier today. And so for that reason, I expect the deer to get up and move a little bit. We're out here on the property where we've been chasing the Big Ten. And I mentioned he's pretty much been MIA, just very random appearances on occasion. This is really close to where he spent a lot of time last year, and it's actually one of the spots we encountered him this year. And actually, one spot that when we spotted him the first time, there's 2 does and a buck right now, bedded up on the side of a pond dam. So I don't know if that's a good sign or not. I would tend to think it's not a good sign that he's in there, but I hope I'm wrong. If he's traveling different properties or just been locked down with does, we'll get into that time of year where they're either going to be searching for the last available does or searching for food. So hopefully we're in the game tonight. We got about 2.5 hours left. He's so easy to kill. Why can't the Big Ten do what he does? He lives down there for sure. He's always in there. When you come up with a name for all 6x3, it's another doe. Oh, there's 3 bucks there. Corn is the food of choice tonight.
The deer are moving well in front of Jared's stand, but thus far the Big Ten isn't among them. Back in southern Iowa, Lee is heading back to the long bean field.
It's the afternoon of the 25th. We are back on this bean ridge. Tried to access that bedding ridge around noon once the rain finally broke. It's been raining for about 48 hours now, off and on. We know that buck is, he's obviously been here forward out of the last 4 evenings, so why wouldn't we sit here? We got the decoy again to try to bring him in again. He's going to be probably checking for new does or with that same doe, and hopefully this buck will be either a threat or we can call to him. He'll have a visual to trigger on. So that's our plan. Obviously pretty confident we're going to see him, hopefully. If we do, we're going to do all we can to get him within bow range. Walking away. Huh?
Keep going. He doesn't seem to like it a lot.
He did not?
Watching him still.
Keep going?
No.
Yeah, that's good. Josh caught GQ coming up out of the bottom, about 200 yards to our north, directly upwind from us. He was kind of quartering away, and so with the decoy we hit the horn, trying to get him to kind of check this thing out, to get him at least coming our direction. He did make his way up to the top of the ridge on the far end of this field, and then kind of disappeared. So I don't know what he was interested or just curious, but he wasn't charging for sure. So I'm not sure how to take that right now. But at least his curiosity's up there. We got him, kept him going the other direction. So we got a lot of evening left to hunt. So there's a chance that he's going to probably pop out somewhere again. Hopefully he's trying to get downwind of us maybe, and then he'll come back in, or he's just going to look for another doe. But we still got a couple hours left till sunset. So anyway, GQ 47, Lee 0, out. All right, 3 o'clock, we're going to make a move to a plot I call Digits Plot. That's where I killed last year, but this buck GQ has been there in between does. He's been there between does on 2 occasions at a rubbing post before in the evening set. So we're going to get down, scurry over there, climb up, and see if we can catch him coming there before dark. He's headed that general direction, so hopefully he's checking a few bedding areas before he gets there and gives us some time to get set up. So head that way. Here he comes, here he comes, here he comes. He's coming, he's coming. Stand up, stand up, stand up, stand up, stand up. He's coming right down the same way they came in. Herb! Herb! I know. He crashed hard. Hit him right here. That's where we just shot him. The shot was back when I stopped him, but he crashed not 25 yards from it into a ditch and never came out. I don't know what to think. We just got here. Yeah, oh yeah. We ran over here in the truck, made it mad dash down this hill, got set up, saw a coyote. We hadn't been here 20 minutes, 15 minutes. We just got settled in. And I told Josh, I was like, I think the coyote pushed some arrows down. These two arrows came down with their flags up. I look up and he's behind them. Unbelievable, I don't know.
That's what I'm thinking.
Drone back.
That's what I'm saying. I walk up to the edge.
But they wouldn't be drone back.
Yes.
I want them to see me and get up.
Exactly. That's kind of my thought.
I have nothing to say, really, besides thank my family, thank the Lord above for this blessing. And my wife and kids and my family sacrifices for the time here. But, you know, I'm just a blessing to come down that hill and to put in a shot and for that to be a lethal kill like that. I mean, it's just, let's go get our hands on it.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. Wow. I had no idea.
We got so lucky coming here.
That's just Lord taking care of us, son. Dude, Josh. Fix that. Well, happy Thanksgiving. A lot to be thankful for on this day with family and friends and this guy right here. A lot of luck involved, and I'm just humbled that it worked out like this and grateful that I didn't have a wounded animal. But very grateful, and you know, to this farm, this piece of dirt, you know, it didn't come easy. I wanted to go with this farm, and this means a lot to me, but also the memories of my wife killing a deer last year and having the kids recover it. My brother-in-law, Tim Allen, as you saw a few weeks ago. That's truly joy and truly a blessing, and it's hard to put an emotion to. Now, this deer, GQ, this story starts about 3 years ago. My wife and I were in a second shotgun, and he came out, and she said he's beautiful and pretty. She named him GQ. So that's where this story started. Last year he was a very active animal. We encountered him a handful of times. I routed him twice. Josh encountered him late season when he was doing some doe hunting and trying to target another mature buck. From that point on, we knew he was going to be a special animal. He had the width, he had the frame, didn't have the age just yet, but he was in the core of the farm. We knew we could protect him, and once we found his sheds, our whole goal this year was to target him and to put a plan together that would ultimately get him in front of us like we are today. Now, did I expect him to make this big of a jump? I did not.
Yeah, these, I don't know if you're going to really be able to put in perspective, but that is his shed from the 2019 season. And as Lee mentioned, I mean, I filmed this deer 4 or 5 times, all in the core area where we've been hunting him the last couple of weeks. And it just really, you know, growing up as a kid in Iowa, you always hear about let them go, they'll grow. This deer is a true testament to that. I mean, this deer, he was beautiful last year. He was a deer that I would have shot all day. But, you know, getting to learn from all the guys that I do, it really proof's in the pudding right there. I mean, everything got bigger.
Humbleness, gratefulness, thanks to my wife, my kids, my family, thanks to Josh for, I mean, there was a couple mornings, you know, even last hunt that, I mean, the guy slept an hour, 30 minutes because he was editing all night. I mean, this guy, appreciate what he does for y'all. He loves bringing these stories to y'all, loves bringing them to life, and you don't understand how much he does in the wee hours in the morning to get the best product, to tell the best stories, to give the best appreciation to these animals and to the guys behind them. I mean, all the staff. I mean, the hours that go into it, the extra, you know, the extra backpack, the extra setup, the missed opportunities because he wasn't on camera. Yeah, it wasn't always. We got each other's throat a few times. We didn't always agree, but that's just a relationship when you're in the tree together.
Yeah, no, it was it was one heck of a week that I know neither of us are ever going to forget. It's like I said, not a person that could deserve it more. Appreciate you, Lee. I appreciate you guys watching and supporting us at Midwest Whitetail. We're very humbled and proud to be able to continue this legacy for the years to come. And, it's like you said, just a true blessing to be able to sit behind an animal like this. Happy Thanksgiving. Hope you guys have had a great season.
Thanks, guys. God bless.
I wish I could get a target buck to do that. That deer, I think we may have pictures of him, but he looks fully mature. I threw a few grunts his way just to see if we could get him to come in and get some footage of him, get a better look at him. But of course he comes right in like it's nothing. Yet again, the Big Ten is nowhere to be found, so I have no idea where that deer's at. Tomorrow's Thanksgiving, so I don't know if we'll get out or not, but if not, we'll probably be back out on Friday.
Josh Honeycutt and Guy Cole continued the great season in Kentucky, experiencing a special hunt together that resulted in Guy's first buck ever. Though not the result that Jared envisioned, his move to shuffle the deck and hunt a new property almost paid off in a big way, providing us another example of how efficient calling can be at this time of the season when a buck is alone searching. And finally, Lee Abraham got the opportunity he's dreamed of his entire life, closing the chapter on the Iowa Giant. A more than deserved triumph, this saga will hold a special place in the Midwest Whitetail storybook for the years to come. We have now entered the final days of November, and with under a week remaining, the time to play it safe is behind us. The number of does remaining in estrus will soon drop to nearly zero, and the bucks still participating in the rut are traveling further than they normally would in their search. Those of us with tags understand the opportunity it presents. Now we push the envelope. After all, there is nothing to lose because in a short time we will be dreaming of when we are once again chasing November